Welcome back then to San Marino, ahead of the 14th round of the 2022 motoGP World Championship. Coming up in about 33 minutes or so's time here at the Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli, we have the 14th chapter and here today. He starts from 4th place. What can he do about that gaggle of Ducatis surrounding the Spaniard?
Yeah, plenty in that grandstand will be cheering Maverick on, and of course his teammate and captain Aleix Espargaro, desperate to give Aprilia a home victory here at Misano, but an awful lot of work to do for him from 9th on the grid. Just didn't have the confidence ultimately in the slightly sketchy conditions of qualifying yesterday, with rain falling, particularly reluctant to touch the white lines and the curbs yesterday in qualifying, so he didn't quite push the boat out as much as many others in qualifying, and as a result of that, Aleix Espargaro goes from the back of row 3, but crucially for him, he's alongside his title rival Fabio Quartararo.
So what are the tactics of Enea Bastianini then going for that soft Michelin rear tyre? Is he going to try and make the start, make the whole shot? Of course he is, but is the plan then, if he does so, to try and then use the extra grip of that soft tyre early on to maybe just open a little bit of a gap and then manage the Grand Prix thereon after? Because we know if there's one guy who's superb, unrivaled really in many respects in terms of rear tyre management over the second half of Grand Prix, it has been Enea Bastianini. You would think it's a little bit of a punt to go for the soft rear in the hottest conditions of the weekend so far, but he obviously trusts himself. It would have been a decision he took with his crew chief Alberto Girabiola and with Michelin. Of course, we'll see whether that decision pays big dividends for the beast as he goes for a 4th win in 2022.
He's certainly going to have that good initial grip in the early stages of the Grand Prix, if that is indeed the tyre choice that he settles on by the time he leaves the grid at the start of the warm-up lap. But it's not a race that we're necessarily expecting to see too much tyre conservation. The riders have noticed throughout the weekend that they've been able to push right throughout the stint on these tyres and still set very fast lap times towards the end. We've seen personal best riders, particularly go back to pre-practice.
Yeah, it's very excited to be here and about to start. I feel, of course, nervous, but actually I'm quite looking forward to enjoy the race. So yeah, just keep concentrated to the race until the end. Yeah, let's enjoy.
Thank you and combate.
Thank you.
Thanks Simon, thanks to Kazuki Watanabe, currently 3rd in the All Japan Superbike Championships, 3rd recently in the famous Suzuka 8-hour endurance race. And they are back.
He also deserved another chance, and but saying that, you need to make a decision at some stage, and but we will support him the coming races full time, and we hope he will come back soon in MotoGP.
Great stuff, Wilco. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Thanks to Wilco Zinimo, thanks Simon Craig. Of course, the current Yamaha R&F team will be moving over to Aprilia's in 2023, and it will feature the perfect timing on one of those RSGPs next season. This man, Miguel Oliveira, 10th on the factory KTM, joined in that project next year by another current KTM rider, Raul Fernandez.
Yeah, we spoke moments ago of the misfortune for Jorge Martin missing out on a place in the top 10 in pre-practice 3. His loss was very much Miguel Oliveira's gain. It promoted him into the top 10, and at one stage it looked as if he was going to be on for a little bit more than that yesterday, than 10th on the grid when he was quick at the start of qualifying, going out on slicks. KTM then ahead of this San Marino Grand Prix. Stefan Pirro is down on the grid with Simon.
No, Michele Pirro, but never mind Michele. Speaking to you.
It's very high. The young rider is fast, and I hope a good race also for me. Anyway, I try my best.
Michele, you're a legend. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks to Michele Pirro, thanks to Simon Crayfart. There was a sight to warm hearts of Repsol Honda fans and to MotoGP fans all around the world. We just saw there talking to former MotoGP rider Alex Hoffman, part of the Service TV operation, Marc Marquez, who after that 4th operation on that right humerus bone in Minnesota back in early June has been past fit, and he will be throwing his leg over that Repsol Honda RC213V at the 2-day test here in Misano next week. And kind of every time he comes to Misano, you feel like he's operating behind enemy lines, don't you? Marc Marquez, of course, he was the last race winner here in Misano when he won after this man, Jack Miller, and Pecco Bagnaia both crashed out in front of him in that title-deciding Emilia-Romagna race here last October.
Yeah, of course, MotoGP.com and MotoGP social media channels will have all the updates on Marc Marquez's progress in that two-day test here at Misano, Tuesday and Wednesday. So keep an eye on all of our social media channels to see how he gets on. It will be so good to see Marc Marquez back in MotoGP, and boy, do Repsol Honda want him back. And we're glad to say, unmistakably, we can now hear from Marc Marquez. He's on the grid and he's talking to Simon Crafar.
He is. Mark, can you tell us what's going through your mind on the grid without all the stress?
Yeah, obviously I'm more nervous now than when I'm in the bike. It's strange, but I feel like I want to be there. And it's true that I need to be step by step. I will have important tests to myself and also for Honda.
I think he has the potential to do a good race. This morning we could improve a little bit the setups, and he was happy, especially in T11, the fast corner, where yesterday we were suffering a bit for the most. He was satisfied. He did a really good warm-up with a really used rear tire. Here the tire doesn't drop so much, and in any case they have to be able to manage. I think most of them choose the same solution, hard and medium. Pace-wise is very close to each other, so they have to be brave and be ready every time there is an opportunity to try to overtake.
Thank you, Mayo, and good luck.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks to Mario Meregali. Fabio Quartararo's worst qualifying position since the opening round, when he was 11th on the grid in Qatar under the Losail International Circuit floodlights. He only fought his way back through to 9th place on that occasion, but he does have that cushion, that buffer of 32 points over Aleix Espargaro going into this 14th round of this year's World Championship. In a long, long time since the Yamaha rider has successfully defended a Premier Class title. Got to be Valentino Rossi, hasn't it, back in 2008, 2009. That's the glory beckoning for this young man, the 23-year-old from Nice in France, as we build up to the final 10 minutes or so build up before this 27-lap gripping Grand Prix of San Marino very, very shortly. We'll pause for both the San Marino and the Italian National. Giannini on that front range second. They have all switched over to the medium rear tyre.
So unless we hear of any more changes, every rider, with the exception of Kazuki Watanabe, has gone for a medium front tyre. Everyone's on the same combination, which is the hard front, medium rear, which is what we thought going into the race, and what we saw from free practice 4 is the preferred combination. As mentioned a few moments ago, it's not expected to be a big race of tyre management, given that they were still setting fast lap times and overall best lap times in FP4 right at the end of their stints. The big question, I suppose, is whether these hotter temperatures have changed the complexion of that ever.
He's also running a gorgeous, absolutely stunning tribute livery to his late team boss, Fausto Gresini. The Italian fans are out in force then. Just under 60,000, as we mentioned. There's a lot of support still in this part of the world, as you'd expect for number 46, Valentino Rossi. He'd love to be here. He's in four-wheel racing competition over in Hockenheim. Can his boys deliver on the big stage in front of their home crowd? The pressure cooker atmosphere building. What's going through? Good launches as well. The Repsol Hondas. Is it Taka Nakagami as well?
Brakes, and Aleix Espargaro has gained places up into 6th.
Future Factory Ducati teammates going now towards turn number. Then he was taken out in that first corner instant. Zarco.
It happened right at the back of the field, so at the moment he is still where he started in 8th.
First lap then by the Australian, just what he would have the first lap. It's Miller that leads from Bastianini. Miller's gone down. It's Jack Miller. Oh dearie me, we were just Rio corner, which has caught out so many riders. So Marco Bezzecchi's also gone down. This is turning into with Miller, but no way through. Bagnaia is as the Avante taken and involved.
More eyes on Aleix Espargaro up ahead of him than Jorge Martin.
Fighting for the victory at the checkered flag. At the moment though, it's Bagnaia that he will lead at the end of lap, starting to put a little bit of a
very good first couple of laps. He's gone from 16th on the grid with all the chaos around Dovizioso in his final Grand Prix. It's going pretty well for him.
Scoring finish. This was Marco Bezzecchi then. It was all of his own doing, wasn't it, up at the...
There as they went through 13, he's got an 1/8 of a second gap to make up, as Maro now has a bit of clear track to try and
Including finishes and wins in the smaller classes as well. Through others, Dennis Bastianini, Luca Marini on course for equaling his tire. Quattararo can make big inroads towards the top 4. Lap 7, caddy up the inside of Vinales into Caro. No, he's not. We're on board now.
Across the line, they're all pretty much lapping on the same lap time. Bagnaia
2.5 seconds, splitting
Spargaro.
that home victory. So does Pecco Bagnaia. That will be, if you can fight for the win, go for it. But Meshror continues to heap the pressure on Pecco Bagnaia. 3 Vinales from Bastianini, then Marini in 4th.
To be in and amongst this battle. The 8 times world champion will be testing, but now he has to back of an air. Certainly would appear at the moment as if he's got more
in this league group, but it's certainly tense. You can't take your eyes off it, can you? Because you just play off your...
1.5 behind Fabio Quattararo now. He made a mistake somewhat to a distant 6th place.
And you can see there as well, Fabio Bagnaia won his first race in MotoGP. And he had a real glimpse there on the big screen just to see this freight, this Bastianini Marini right on his case for them. We're just hopes of winning this Grand Prix.
And he's fallen foul up ahead.
Yeah, Pecco Bagnaia then, what, sort of 4 or 5 bite lengths clear, down in 9th place. So I believe you've got some thoughts on the KTMs.
Also off the leading boys.
Yeah, bettered marginally by Brad Bagnaia.
Right there with Bastianini. Luca Marini's more than happy. Comes a real prospect for Marini. Bastianini, though, keen to take it back immediately.
To go for it, trying to up the pace here and break away.
And there you see him now pulling over to his left.
To throw away vital World Championship points. Bastianini tried to hone in, back on, hanging on in there, champion. They know down inside the...
Another spots of rain in Q2, but that lap time that Bastianini just did would have put him on points, of course. This is the battle.
Slam shot in his face. Marini is losing touch him. And Aleix Espargaro, it's is going for here. He is starting to open up the biggest lead with the gap. 8 laps remaining, 0.3 in reality.
Next season, he's pulled back a 10th.
Amelia with clearance to Monto corner. He's building up here for a late
through his head, where of course he was overtaken by Bastianini,
winning race
over the back of the 63 now.
Can he resist time around in Mazzano to pick up a Ducati team to join
into Tremonto in particular? He is so good. Handed there that leads us into this final sector, and I don't think Bastianini
at the moment has not been able to find a way milestone of being the first Ducati rider to win 4 Grand Prix.
As it is, he's still sitting behind Bagnaia, which tells me one of
number 24, 3 to go here in Mazzano. Excellent job by him.
Extra 2 points perhaps up for grabs there
from Pecco Bagnaia's team. Over the line they come. There was less than a 10 speed through turn number 3. Will he be closer to the taxi management, because they'd have liked to do a much more relaxing scenario. That 10 spot now. Then Bastianini, he wound up for a move on. Here comes Bastianini. This is one of your favourite overtaking hotspots here in Mazzano. Can he get close?
Second behind Pecco Bagnaia now. He's going to have to get on with it.
The 63 fans are on their feet. Not be close enough. He thought about it, but it will be Pecco Bagnaia. Surely they will take the... Bastianini! Bastianini! Oh, how close was that? How? And now Bastianini at the finish line. Look at the side garage.
How did Bastianini say we were expecting potentially wet conditions for race day here at Mazzano? The forecast when we were
for Aprilia big time yesterday, wasn't he, Vinales? Absolutely no doubt in his mind, he said. He has got the potential and, more importantly, the